It's Tuesday at 1 o'clock. It's time for Breath with Joyce. Hi. Hello, hello. Happy to be here. Hope everyone is doing well. I thought today would be a good day for self care. You have no idea how grateful I am that I had the opportunity that this is on my calendar today because if it were not for me being here guiding, doing this with you, I wouldn't be doing this at all. So I feel like today, and I don't know if anyone else is feeling this way, but I got a tiger by the tail and it's just dragging me all over this day. And I'm having a hard time, um, owning it or managing it, I suppose. It seems like, I wake up with a vision of how the day will go. And that's not working right now because I have to be more fluid than I'm used to being, I guess. And so sometimes I feel pretty raggedy and I'm not sleeping very well. So I thought today would be a good day to share breath, as we always do, a little bit of talk, and the talk to be on self care today. But as usual, what we're going to do is start with self regulation in a minute. Before I do that, though, I'm going to go ahead and make an announcement that I'm really excited to share, and I haven't shared publicly at all yet. And not most people don't know. Well, nobody knows except for the very few people on the team that are helping me create it. But we've put together a pretty amazing virtual version of. We've adapted our 20-hour live trauma recovery yoga training to a virtual format on Zoom, and it's taken some work, some time, some effort, some sleepless nights to get it together. We'll have registration open as early as tomorrow, but at the latest on Friday. And then the training is actually on the 24th. So it's Friday the 24th, Saturday the 25th, and Sunday the 26th. And we did this because we're getting a lot of people asking us, can I take your training virtually? And I know it's a really good tool for people, not only during this time of what we're going through. I don't want to say isolation. I don't want to say quarantine, but the social distancing and all of the challenges that we're dealing with right now. The self-regulation and breath of trauma recovery yoga is seeing great results. I think I told you last week that I've been called out and I've been doing some things in person with people working, city employees working here in Las Vegas to create a temporary hospital or at least a medical care facility and housing for our homeless population. And I've shown up a few times to do this, and every time I show up, I take them through some self-regulation and self-care pieces and offer them some other tools. And they refer me to another agency and another agency and another agency, so much so that I had to bring another teacher in today to help me work on that project. So that is to say that because we see the need is growing and we're just seeing it boots on the ground here in Las Vegas, we have teachers all over the world that are being called to serve. But at the same time, there are plenty of countries and cities and states without these tools. And so we decided we better get this online. We better make this virtual. We better make this available to everybody as soon as possible. And we better do it right. So it's not a half-ass attempt. This is going to be a pretty great training. Like I said, registration will be up and running as soon as tomorrow, but at the latest by Friday. So we'll have a week, and we're only opening up 50 spots because on Zoom you can have hundreds of people, and I think that's lovely when people want to do that because they want to reach as many people as they can at once. But for this specific material, it can be very intimate, very activating or triggering and emotional. And so I had to have it cap at 50 so that I can keep eyes, my co-facilitators' eyes on everyone's, you know, emotions or reactions throughout the workshop. So we're capping it at 50. We're super excited, and also a little sleepless. And I'm just blessed to have such a wonderful team. And my time was freed up, and I'd like to give a shout out to Lululemon too, because I am a Lululemon ambassador, and we have our downtown yoga and wellness co-op here, and there are operating costs that are still due, regardless of whether our doors are open or not, and which they are not open right now because they are not an essential business, and I understand that, and we are law-abiding, and we are community supporting, and we are good examples, so we are not opening those doors, but we still have to pay the rent and the insurance and the mind body and all those pieces. So there were thousands of dollars that I needed to focus on how to pay those, and I couldn't bring the help into the virtual community that I really wanted to, because I didn't have time to do both. And by the power of Lululemon and the blessings of the universe, they gave us a grant, the Downtown Yoga and Wellness Co-op, a grant, so that we could be able to do both. So thank you, Lululemon, and the privilege and benefits of being an ambassador are more than I could have ever imagined. So I just wanted to, I'll continue to shout that to the world. I talk about Lululemon to anyone who will listen. They're not just amazing yoga pants. They're a whole lot more than that. So those were my announcements. I wanted to thank Lululemon. I wanted to tell you that our 20-hour yoga, trauma recovery yoga method training is going virtual, and the first training is capping at 50 people, starts on the 24th. Signups will begin either tomorrow or Friday at the latest. You'll see that blast all over social media, and we're really excited. And I have an amazing team of people helping me get those virtual pieces together, from the website to the sign up to the Zoom platform. And that's all to be unveiled very soon. So that's that. Those are my announcements. Again, if you just joined us, I wanted to tell you today's breath is going to be centered around self-care. And because me too, I am not sleeping well. I'm backburnering my self-care, and that's why I said I'm really grateful for this time with you, so that I myself will practice my self-care with you. So let's just begin, as we always do, with a little self-regulation, so that we can all catch up with our bodies and let go of the tail of the tiger that's dragging us through the day. And sometimes it's not up to us, it's up to the day. So we let the day own us instead of the other way around, right? So just come along with me. Place your feet flat on the floor. Let your hands rest on your legs or knees as your chin drops towards the chest and you gaze down towards the floor. We begin with grounding, beginning to notice everywhere our body is making contact with the earth and our chair. The weight and heat of our body pressing down against the earth. Our sit bones grounding in the chair, our feet warm, pressing down against the earth, imagining those points of contact against the ground, earth moving, feet sinking. I am grounded. I am supported. I am safe. I am peaceful. I am present. Hands resting on the legs or knees, fingers slightly separated, maybe feeling a little heat between the hands and legs. Softness in the hands, no work. Hands just resting. No reason to make a fist or point a finger. I am safe. I am present. I am peaceful. The long muscles in the sides of the neck begin to unwind as the shoulders drop down and back. The gaze softens, the brow unfurrows, the lips unpurse, and jaw falls slack as the tongue rests behind the teeth. I am soft. I am present. I am peaceful. Engaging the pelvic floor, moving into centering now, lifting those muscles you would engage to stop the flow of urine and pushing the navel towards the spine as though you're trying to get your belly button to kiss your backbone, maybe beginning to notice a little heat in the incinerator of that gut in that enteric nervous system, churning and burning and vacuuming all the chatter and thoughts between the ears being drawn down into the gut, churning and burning, turning into ash and being swept away by our own breath. I am centered. I am present. I am peaceful. Gazing down now, softly looking down towards the feet, just peering through slits in the eyes as the eyelids are smooth and soft, gazing down, orienting ourselves in the space now by finding 4 textures or 4 colors in our field of vision. Notice the flooring, the feet or shoes, the clothes, the skin. Notice the way the light absorbs or reflects on these things. Notice the colors. Are they bright? Are they subtle? Are they earthy? Notice the textures. Are they shiny and smooth or soft and cushy? No reason to look about. I am safe in this space. I am present in this space. I am peaceful in this space. Following the breath now, in and out through the nose, lips barely touching. As we follow that breath in through the nose as it swirls around behind the eyes, breaking up any stagnant information, sweeping through the brow, unclogging the highways of the mind, tingling through the scalp into the back of the neck as it swirls around between those tiny vertebrae, lifting and separating as you exhale, sweeping back up, across, behind, and out through the nose. Following that breath in and out through the nose, asking ourselves the question of presence. Am I inhaling or exhaling in this very moment? Answering our question with the words, I am. Following them with inhaling or exhaling. I am inhaling. I am exhaling, pushing the navel all the way to the backbone. And on your next inhale, feel the belly, then the chest, then the face and eyes as you lift the chin and flutter the eyes open. I so needed that. I hope that you feel better because I do. And I, again, appreciate you being here with me. So I'm looking at my notes about a couple of things that I wanted to make sure I mentioned. When we talk about self-care, one of the things that pictures I like to paint for people about self-care is that we are our own mama, okay? Or we are our own baby, or we are our own puppy. All of those things are true, right? So the visual that I use in the training a lot is if you have a baby, a toddler, or a puppy or a kitten, right? And that being, right, is approaching you on a regular basis, like tapping you on the leg or pulling on your pant leg or your shirt sleeve and asking for your attention to throw a ball or feed or nurture or water it, whatever it is, right? If those things are true and in your intention is to take care of them, you wouldn't say to that dog or that baby or that kitten, go away, come back at the end of the day. I'll give you an hour. Go away, come back at the end of the day. I'll give you a half an hour. I'll give you a bath or I'll feed you a meal at the end of the day, right? And then sometimes you forget because you get so busy and the end of the day is so late, right? So if you were your own baby or your own puppy or your own kitten and you put you off till the end of the day and then sometimes to the next day because that day got so busy or so late, would you or that baby or kitten or puppy be well adjusted? Would it be healthy? Would it be calm? Would it feel safe? No, right? So many times when we talk about self-care turns into what I think, or I don't know if I think, but what I might label self-indulgence, which, is okay too, right? Who doesn't want to have like a feast or a little bigger piece of cake or an hour-long bath or a day at the spa or, something that's like a big treat for you, right? That is self-care, but it is like such an isolated event that it's not really like a self-nurturing daily practice kind of integrated into your life, and it's not generally sustainable in moments like this. What are you going to do? Like the spa's closed. There's no one to get a massage. You're not getting a facial. You're not getting a pedicure. You're not. So if that was your self-care, you're not practicing at all right now, right? So, and when we are isolated or distanced from a lot of the self-care tactics that we usually take on, right? Or what I've been calling buffers. So I had all these buffers between me and, I don't want to, like activation or anxiety. Like I had all these buffers, right? Because I could go to a yoga class, I could walk in the sunshine with a friend, I could gather with my children and have a dinner. These are all buffers. These are all things that help me fill my cup. Well, those buffers are gone now. So now it's me with me. And what are you going to do, right? So my tips about self-care are always moments of mindfulness, right? Sprinkling them through your day. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 90 seconds, 5 minutes, right? 15, 20, whatever, right? Sprinkle them throughout your day. So when you feel the tug of your inner puppy or your inner baby asking you for your attention, pause. Take that moment. You know what? Here's one. Look at how easy this one is. Just to either, feel your feet on the ground, get grounded, and look up. Let your shoulders fall back and down. Let your mouth and eyes open as wide as they possibly can and soak up some light. Because so often right now, we're virtual, right? So we're here. We're with our phone. We're with our laptop. We don't see what's around us. We're not opening up to light. We're not opening up our chest and arms. This is another one, right? Like this. Just for a moment. It's the reverse of this. This. And feel the breath and feel the feet on the ground. 30, 60, 90 seconds. That's a moment of mindfulness and self-care. It's that simple, right? And that can make the difference between whether you sleep at night or not. That's real talk. Because if our body keeps the score, which is the best book ever, written by Bessel van der Kolk. So if you're looking for some reading on how our body holds emotions, that's the Bible of Trauma Recovery Yoga. That's the book we recommend. That's a reading for our training. And it talks about whether it's, short-term shock trauma or long-term toxic exposure, to crisis. Like right now, this can be like a lot of people are suffering because they're 100% alone. And they live in an apartment and there's nowhere to go outside. And they are faced with no buffer, right? So what can they do? What can they do? And they've taken away all of those self-care um, indulgences like spas and things like that. So the answer is to find some mindfulness and release it as it accumulates instead of letting it accumulate. And then I'm going to see my psychiatrist when this is over. I'm going to go to the spa when this is over. You might find a waiting list at those places after all of this, right? So if we can, I also, another visualization, because I love visualizations, another visualization is if we can let little puffs of steam out of our teapot throughout the day, as they come to the surface, they won't, our teapot's not going to whistle, right? So we can just let out those little puffs of steam, taking a moment, taking a breath, practicing one of those self-regulation, grounding, sensing, orientation, or breath, walking away from what we're doing, reversing our posture, because you'll notice there's even something called text neck from doing this all the time that people are finding they're needing to see a chiropractor for. So those are my self-care tips for today. I think it's really important. When I talk to some really brilliant people throughout my week, because I belong to something called the Jameson Fellowship, and I'm blessed to have opportunity to be trained and understand from a lot of really wise people. One of them was talking about that idea that all these buffers are taken away and I need to re-examine my tools and if what I haven't noticed that I thought I had. In other words, we're always looking at ourselves through a magnifying glass, right? But right now that magnifying glass is much stronger and much bigger and we're much closer up to ourselves. And in those moments, the first person we attack is us, right? The first person in line to get a beating from us is us. When we can't sleep, when we feel, like I said today, I felt like I had a tiger by the tail of my day and this tiger was just dragging me all over the place. And I couldn't manage my day. I was attacking me. Well, you're not organized and you should do that, because I am the only person I'm with most all my day. So I have that. I want people to be mindful and practice self-care. Not only self-care, but be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. So I have a tool for that. I love this tool, and I can't remember where I picked this tool up, but it helped me so much, and it's so simple, and it kind of sounds goofy, but I'm certain it has to do with neuroplasticity. So right now, my brain likes to wake me up in the middle of the night and say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, right? And it wakes me up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Literally from 11 o'clock last night till 4 o'clock this morning, I was awake an hour and a half, 3 different times, like if you added together, 20 minutes here, 40 minutes here, whatever. An hour and a half in that block of time. And all those times, all I did was have me on the ropes. Oh, you didn't do this. You didn't do that. What's the matter with you? You're not doing everything you should be doing, and you should be doing better. And remember that one time that you were a bad daughter or a bad wife or a bad mother, just like giving myself a beating. Okay. So I pause and I say to myself, either aloud or silently, I love me. 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 And I did that over and over, and that's the only way I could get back to sleep. Sometimes it's just 5 times. It's a minimum of 5 times, but it is to work again with neuroplasticity and to retrain the brain out of the rut of that beating. Here's the good news. I know it sounds terrible, like you see me like waking up in terror and that, and I do feel it in my body when I attack myself, right? I'm like, oh, I'm awake because I suck, right? But the good news is, I know it sounds crazy, but that's progress, because in my when I was very first diagnosed with PTSD, I just didn't sleep at all. And if I did sleep, it was drug-induced sleep, which isn't real sleep. I don't take anything to fall asleep. I don't take anything to stay asleep. I use mantra and breath and body scans. And that one, I love me, I love me, I love me, I love me, I love me. is just way more helpful than you could imagine over time. Because my original mantra, my involuntary mantra when waking was I would have a thought that hurt me and I felt in my body. And then my mantra would say, I hate everyone and I want to die. I don't have that mantra. It would, I think in the past 6 months, I've had that happen to me like 3 or 4 times. That used to be like every, 3 or 4 hours. So I don't mean to sound like this tortured soul that's up all night beating herself up. I'm showing you progress. And progress was based on working with neuroplasticity. We don't break a habit, we make a new one, right? And you would be amazed when you tell yourself that you love yourself, what it can do for you. So that's another tip, okay? So all of that being said, I want you to, your takeaways today are sprinkle self-care throughout the day. Don't try to bookend it or put it off till tomorrow or put it off till the end of this current situation, right? Because that may never come. And the less we accumulate, the less we have to get rid of. So when it comes, let it go. When it comes, take an effort. Make an effort. Take a breath, find some grounding, do a reverse stretch, whatever, right? Implement those self-regulation tools as self-care. If you're having trouble and you're having negative mantra and you're attacking yourself, work with the I love me. Try it. Just give it a try. What do you get to lose, right? And then finally, I think I just want to give you one more breath. So to take with you. So we've done 5-finger breath, which is great. An inhale, an exhale, an inhale, and exhale slowly and mindfully looking and feeling the hand, right? We've done that. We've done 3-part breath. We've done this one, that's like breath of fire, the belly breath or the bellows breath. And so those are the 3 we've done so far. Today, what I'd like to do, because we're talking about self-care, we're talking about the accumulation of thought in the body and the mind that we end up taking to bed with us. We're talking about self-care and taking a moment to clear those things away and to let off those bursts of steam so that our teapot doesn't whistle. So today, what I'd like to give you is alternate nostril breath. You might need one of these, okay? Because it's still allergy season. And, I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to have allergy season and this pandemic at the same time, but it's complicated. So if you have a little tissue, well, I can't see you, so I don't know. If you don't use your sleeve, use your t-shirt. I don't care. You may not even need one, but all we're going to do is the most simplest way I can teach you an alternate nostril breath. And here's why I picked alternate nostril for today, because it clears this area, right? So this, our prefrontal cortex, our thinking center, our logic center, where we do our critical planning and our judgment against ourselves right now, perhaps mostly, right? So if we can take the time to clear that, I call it like a freeway. And when all these cars are parked on it and the freeway's jammed up, it's difficult for us to be more free-flowing like we may need to be right now as things change for us day to day. So let's practice it together. It's very simple. I'll just do a little quick demo for you. I'm not picky about how you hold your hand. I just want you to hold it in a way that will allow you to close one nostril off and then the other. You could do mudra. You could do thumb and index finger. You could do forehead and like a knuckle. So you're doing like this. Some people like to do that, which is nice because you also get to touch this area, which probably needs a massage. Because when we have all that critical thinking going on, our eyebrows try to have a meeting without our permission. And that's another thing. That's another reason why I like, looking up and raising and all that. I know it looks scary, but nobody can see you when you're doing it that way, right? So let's just do that. And that will be the last thing we do. And then I don't try not to keep you guys too long because I know we're all kind of back to backing all these different new projects. So So just holding your hand in whatever way is comfortable for you to close off one nostril and then the other. And then I want you today, if you're comfortable, you can do your eyes in a few different ways. You can close your eyes, or you can look down towards your mouth and nose, or you can close your eyes while looking up here, right? Keeping our focus on this area again to help clear it. And as we do this exercise, I'm going to demo it so that you can hear what I want you to visualize. What we'll do is we'll inhale, we'll hold off the right nostril, and we'll inhale through the left, the count of 4, real brisk. Then we'll hold both. And we're counting here slowly to, or kind of quickly actually, to 16. And when I do that, I want you to imagine that the breath that you just took in through that nostril is swirling around, knocking off old information, chiseling and dusting and sweeping. And then we'll release the other nostril and we'll exhale quickly to the count of 8, pushing out every last bit of air, sweeping out all of that information that is keeping us up at night or we're carrying through our day. Okay? Okay, I'm going to try to call out those visualizations as we go. We're just going to do like a few, let's say we're going to do 4 rounds, but keep this in your tool belt, right? Because this can be helpful to you later. So just holding those hands, choosing your mood, your eyes, so you can gaze down towards the mouth and nose, have the eyes closed or open slightly, gazing down, or with the eyes closed, but focusing the eyeballs up. Take a big inhale, closing off the right nostril. Inhale through the left, count of 8. Hold both. I'm going to count to 16. It's swirling around. Release that right nostril. Exhale, count of 8, pushing out every last bit of breath, navel to spine. Inhale, same side, count of 4, brisk. Hold both. Imagine you feel that cooling, that sweeping, that scraping, that getting rid of it. It's opening it up. It's releasing, gazing up towards the eyebrows. Release the other side. Left side. Exhale. 8. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Navel to spine. Inhale. Same side. 4. Hold both. Counting, swishing, imagining. It's like little tiny tornadoes swishing around, cleansing. Release that right nostril. Exhale. 8. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Navel to spine. One more time. Inhale. 4. Hold both. I'm counting. And you're visualizing. See it, feel it. Almost like a massage on those muscles between the eyebrows. Release the left side. Exhale. 8. Push, 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 push. And release. Right? So this can bring about some awake. It can bring about some serotonin. It can make you feel a little brisk jolt of energy. It's better than a Red Bull for you too, by the way. And you could practice more rounds, less rounds. You could just pause and do 1 or 2. But you see, it's really simple. You can't really do it wrong. The idea is to get that breath up in here, swishing around and release. And that visualization is really key too. Here's the other thing that I use that for. Creation. So you see, look at this beautiful painting. I wish I could say that I did that. I did not do that. This was done by my very artistic and beautiful friend, Serene Temple. And I would like to say that I am artistic, but I'm probably more crafty and creative. And when I want to be creative, whether it's writing or building my vision board, I'll do that breath. And it helps to clear away the, don't forget to do this and that, and you got to get to the grocery store and what's next. It lets me be here with this clean palette, if you will, so that I can create. It's also very good if you're trying to focus and study. Or anchor something into memory if you clean that area out before you dive in. That's it for today, y'all. I love you all. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Erica, Allison, Lauren. Thank you for whoever else is out there watching. If you're watching live or recorded, keep an eye on our social media. We're going to be posting that link for our first virtual 20-hour trauma recovery yoga training coming on the 24th. The sign up and registration will be available either as soon as tomorrow, but no later than Friday. So, and Friday is my birthday, so I'm going to be offline. I'm leveling up to a 56, level 56. Y'all stay safe. Thanks for trying.